this day retreat today. Let us continue our practice. As we discovered that we have an ability or a skill to return to the present moment. Doesn't matter how far mind goes away, how long, no matter, we can return to this moment less than 1 second. Can we use this ability or skill to come back to the present moment from wherever the mind is? And can we appreciate this skill? The present moment is not worried about the past, no worries. Also, it is not anxious, no anxiety for the future. Simply, it is happy. Can we experience the contentment with the present moment? The present moment only knows what is happening now, right now. It doesn't know what is going to happen, what will be happening next. It's unknown. Nobody knows exactly what is going to happen. Something can happen, nothing can happen. Can we be comfortable with this nature, the nature of unknown? Now feel your eyes see how relaxed your eyes are. Now you may open your eyes slowly and consciously. Dear friends, today the theme of the retreat is joyful practice, as Claudia mentioned earlier, joyful practice. A very positive topic. And on the other hand, it makes many questions. Many questions. And I'm not going to answer to all those uh, curiosities. But this theme is, I feel, so meaningful, useful, joyful practice. On one hand, we all are searching for the happiness, joy. We know this psychology. Nobody is seeking for pain. Consciously and intentionally, nobody is looking for the pain, difficulties. It goes other way around. Everybody is seeking for pleasure. We know this. And whatever we do in our life, so-called ordinary life, whatever we do to make our mind happy. Whatever. Good things, bad things, right things, wrong things, religious things, worldly things, spiritual things, whatever. Doesn't matter. The aim is the happiness. The goal is the happiness. So if we do everything in our life to achieve the happiness, then why we have to meditate? Then what is the point of this spiritual journey? If our everyday life is able to make our mind happy, fully happy, and to avoid all kinds of unpleasant happenings, then of course, then what is the meaning? What is the point of practicing meditation? No need. But my dear friends, we all know this, even though our goal is the happiness, but nobody is capable to achieve it just by doing ordinary business. Nobody can buy it for whatever price. And nobody can borrow it from anyone. Nobody can get it as a dowry or as a gift or even as a blessing. Of course, for a temporary period of time, for a short period of time, others can make us happy, but only for short period of time. Nobody can give us an eternal joy, an eternal happiness. They can give us some kind of happiness and they can get it back from us. We cannot keep that happiness forever within. So then we are sad. Then we are in a pain. Our mind is shifting from one extreme to the other, from the happiness to the unhappiness within short period of time. It doesn't need years or centuries to move from the happiness to the unhappiness. Even 1 second is enough. And there is no guarantee for those pleasant experiences. No guarantee. And the other important aspect is usually we called happiness for what? For what? The ordinary minds think that the happiness is a sensual pleasure. That's the happiness, that's the joy for ordinary minds. Sensual pleasures. So this is the interpretation and definition for the happiness, for ordinary way of thinking. Happiness means sensual pleasures. If no sensual pleasures, then no happiness. Therefore, my dear friends, the ordinary mind is always looking for sensual pleasures to make itself happy, because the ordinary mind doesn't know any other kinds of happiness, any other versions of happiness. The ordinary mind only knows about the sensual pleasure. Therefore, always the mind is going behind sensual pleasures, one after the other, one after the other, and one after the other. And of course, you can buy sensual pleasures. We can buy from the market. Whatever we buy, actually, we buy sensual pleasures. But we don't use this word to order something online or purchasing. We don't order directly as sensual pleasures. We order food, beverages, snacks, cosmetics, music, movies. So that means actually we are ordering sensual pleasures. We cannot get sensual pleasures directly without any materialistic elements. That's not possible. No one can experience any sensual pleasure, any single sensual pleasure, without using something physical, something materialistic. So they are in the market. All kinds of so-called materialistic stuffs are in the market. And it has a price. We have to pay. We have to pay a lot. We have to pay a lot for food, a lot for cosmetics, a lot for medicine, a lot for music and movies. to get some sensual pleasures. Pay a lot, but what we experience is no sensual pleasure is lasting for longer period of time. No any single sensual pleasure can last for centuries or for years and years, even for months and months, even days and days. No, only for short period of time. And then what happens? It's interesting to know then what happens. If you say happiness for this, if you say happiness for the sensual pleasure, then what happens to the happiness? If our happiness is depending on sensual pleasures, and if sensual pleasures are only staying with us for short period of time, then what happens to our happiness? The happiness is also disappearing. It is vanishing. In the beginning, full of pleasure, 100% of pleasure in the beginning, whatever experience. And if we continue that experience, if we continue to listen to that music or to watch the movie or taste that food, we can taste that food for hours and hours. If you have money and if you have time and if it is available, then of course we can buy it and taste it, eat and eat and eat, hours and hours. And do we think that the taste, the sensual pleasure is increasing bit by bit? No, it goes other way around. It is decreasing. In the beginning, it gives 100% pleasure. And if we continue to eat it, then the taste is vanishing. It is slowly disappearing. 99%, 80%, 60, 50, 40. And if we do continue, then we come to one point, zero, zero. No pleasure at all, no taste at all. The chocolate is same. It is same. But now it doesn't give any pleasure. Interesting phenomena. The ingredients are same. The brand is same. But somehow no taste at all. And if we do continue to have it, to taste it, then what happens? Then it becomes bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter. So this is the nature. And somehow if we continue, then the system wants to vomit. So my dear friends, this is the nature of so-called ordinary happiness. Because our ordinary happiness is depending on sensual pleasures. And for most of the times, we had to or not we had to, but before we come to the 0 point, or before we reach that bitter part, it disappears. While we are still enjoying sensual pleasures, because of whatever reasons, the external sources are disappearing. So in these both situations, no happiness, no happiness at all. And then what the mind is doing? The ordinary mind is again looking for new sensual pleasure because it doesn't know any other way to make itself happy. So now it is looking for another sensual pleasure. And if it is fortunate enough, then of course it can find another new sensual pleasure and again start a new game from 100% to the zero, from zero to minus, and again lost. So this is the way the mind lives. This is the way the ordinary life goes. It doesn't know any other way to live. So that's why, my dear friends, meditation is important. The spiritual life is so useful because of this reason. We cannot get any solution. We cannot solve this problem permanently with whatever materialistic stuffs. We cannot solve. There is no solution in any supermarket for this issue. For whatever price, for whatever cost, we cannot buy a permanent solution for this eternal issue, for this eternal problem. We have to solve this problem within. That's why we meditate. And that's why Dhamma Buddhism says uh, overcoming suffering. Overcoming suffering. The meditation is a way, a path to overcome the suffering. And you may hear this word for hundreds of times. Suffering, 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 life is suffering, body is suffering, the mind is suffering, everything is suffering, the world is suffering. So when we hear this word, suffering, 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 then you may have some idea about meditation or about the Buddhism that it is only speaking about the dark side, negativity. It is only speaking about suffering, not about the happiness, not about the joy, blissfulness. So this is the common picture about the Buddhism and about meditation. The majority thinks that meditators are suffering. They meditate because of the suffering. Full of suffering is there. Therefore, the majorities expect to see a sad face or sad faces from meditators, dark faces. If you smile or if you laugh, then nobody say that you are a meditator. Nobody. thinks that you can be a meditator. Nobody believes if you smile or if you laugh. If you cry and if you are so serious, then of course they may think you are in a deep meditative state. My dear friends, this is not the right picture about meditation. Of course, we are serious about life. The life is not a game. It is not a toy at all. We have to be serious about our life and about the lifetime as well. The lifetime is not extending, and our lifetime is shorter. So we have to be serious about it. No time to waste. And the other thing is, we are responsible for our life. We are responsible for our mind. So-called ordinary people, they don't think that they are responsible for their mind. They don't think that they are responsible for their emotions. They think that others are responsible. Others should be responsible for their emotions. They hand over the responsibilities of their emotions to others' shoulders. Yeah, this is the way how ordinary minds think. If you ask this question from 100 of people, maybe 90 say this. We are sad because of others. We are angry because of others. We are crying because of others. Because of others. Others are responsible, not themselves. My dear friends, we cannot hand over this responsibility to anyone else's hands. We can think that others are responsible, our parents are responsible, our partners are responsible, our children are responsible, the entire society is responsible, or the Russia is responsible, or whatever we can think. But by thinking in this way, we cannot solve this problem. When we come to the meditation, of course, we come with this responsibility. I am responsible for my mind. I am responsible for my emotions. I am responsible. Only we can be responsible for our mind, even not for the body. And no one can be responsible for our mind. No one. They can be responsible for our body. They can do all the duties of our body. They can do. They can feed us, and they can take care of the body. Everything else they can do. But no one can take care of our mind. No one. Even the Buddha, even the God. No one can take care of our mind. Only we can take care of our mind. But if we do not take care of our mind, then poor mind. Then poor mind. Helpless mind. Then it is suffering. So, of course, my dear friends, when we come to the meditation, we come with this responsibility. We don't have 100 of responsibilities. Only one responsibility. only one, and that is more than enough. So, because of this, yes, we are serious. Somehow, we are serious. But it doesn't mean that we are not relaxed. We are serious, and at the same time, we can relax. We can smile. We can laugh. Not laugh at others. No, not at all. And the unfortunate thing is, even meditators, some of meditators think that they have to suffer. They have to suffer. They must suffer. The way to overcome suffering is by suffering. This is a very old tradition and very narrow thinking. No pain, no gain. No pain, no gain. So by believing this theory, no pain, no gain, some meditators think to overcome the suffering, they had to suffer. We had to suffer. So being serious is one thing. Suffering is another thing. Another aspect is I met many meditators, so-called spiritual seekers. They did a lot of commitments and sacrifice for the practice. They renounce everything, their jobs, their comfortable and luxury lives to achieve some spiritual goals. But no joy at all, no joy. How much they meditate, that much they suffer. More and more suffering, more and more stress, and more depressed. And when they become more and more depressed and more anxious and more stressed, they think that much they are going deeper into the practice. That's why they become more and more anxious and more depressed and more stressed. That's so funny. Of course, my dear friends, one can become depressed not because of the meditation, the attitudes about meditation, the expectations about meditation. What we expect by meditating, what attitudes are there about the practice, about the achievements. Because of those two things, one can suffer. Attitudes and expectations. For example, if you think that no pain, no gain, then to gain more, you had to suffer more. If you believe that theory, no pain, no gain, to gain more, you need more pain. And actually, you are not gaining anything, nothing, only pain, more and more pain. And expectations. We all have expectations about examinations, about jobs, about relationships, about traveling. So many expectations are there, and we call them worldly expectations. Worldly. And once we come to this spiritual life, then of course we don't have those expectations. And then we think we don't have any expectation. Or at least we think we don't have that kind of mundane expectations, inferior expectations. No. Instead of that, now we have superior expectations. To have a thoughtless mind or no mind, enlightenment, whatever. They are beautiful, beautiful goals. It is okay to have a goal because otherwise we don't do anything. We do not start any journey if there is no destination, if there is no goal. So it's okay to have a goal. But instead of walking, instead of starting the journey, if you always think about the goal and how far from here to there, if always think about that, then of course it makes us depressed. Oh, we are here. The goal is there. We are down. The goal is up, top of the mountain. And also, I heard this from many meditators, and then they complain this. They said that they been meditating for many years, since 10 years, 15 years, but still same. No achievements, no achievements at all. And it makes them so depressed, so depressed. And you know this, that in the modern psychology, in the modern medicine, now they use meditation as a treatment for the depression. One of the best treatments for the depression is meditation. But can you believe this? Just by meditating, one can become depressed. Can you believe? Just by taking antidepressant medicine, can one become depressed? Can it happen? Usually no, but it happens in this way. And then that person and also others, those who are not meditating, they think meditation makes them depressed. Meditation makes them stupid and mad and crazy. No, the expectations. The goal is there, we are here. Instead of thinking about the distance, how many steps, thousand of steps, or then all the heaviness of thousand of steps, all the tiredness of thousand of steps we experience right now, if we think in that way. Only one step for this movement, only one step, only one single step. It doesn't make us tired. Instead of being tired, we can enjoy. We can enjoy the journey if we are in the present and if you are only paying attention on the present step, what we have to do right now for this moment, what we have to do. There is a beautiful story. It happened during the Buddha's time. The monk, young monk, he meditates under some guidance of his teacher, senior monk. And the senior monk, the teacher, gave him a lot of guidelines and regulations. You had to follow everything, all these things. You had to protect all these guidelines. And even he couldn't remember them. And he couldn't meditate. How possible to meditate with hundreds of guidelines? How possible? So of course he became depressed. And he wanted to, he's so close to be crazy, being crazy. Therefore he wanted to disrobe and go to the normal life. And at the gate, the Buddha was there. And he asked, why are you depressed? My dear son, why are you depressed? What makes you depressed? He said, my teacher asked me to follow all these regulations and guidelines to meditate. And it's impossible to follow all these guidelines and protect all these regulations. Not possible. It's too much for me. It's a headache. It's a burden. So I am not suitable, I am not qualified for this spiritual life. So I want to go back. Then the Buddha asked this question. Forget about hundreds of guidelines. Forget about them. You don't have to worry about them. Can you only follow one guidelines? One guideline. Can you only follow the one single guideline? Can you only protect one thing? Then he smiled. Then a smile comes to his face naturally. Said, of course, sir, of course. Why not? I can. If it is only one, what's the problem? So easy. Then protect your mind. Protect your mind. Forget about all the other rules and regulations and guidelines. Only try to protect your mind. And that's the meditation technique the Buddha gave him. And he was happy. He started to practice that meditation technique. He started to follow that technique happily. And within a short period of time, he became an enlightened one. Overcome all kinds of suffering. Happily. Happily. I always remind you this. Please don't think meditation is a job, another job. It's not a job. And it is not a duty as well. And not a responsibility in somehow. If you think it's a job, or it's a duty, or it's a responsibility, that means it's something heavy. That means you must do. No choice. It doesn't come from your heart. If something a job or duty or responsibility, that means it comes from outside. And you are not free. You cannot say no. You have to push yourself. You have to force yourself to do it. Maybe in the beginning, that might be useful in the beginning. But my dear friends, after a while, please realize this, that your practice is not a duty. It is not another job. It's your life. It's your breath. You don't think that the breathing is a job. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling is a job. It is not a job. It's your life. Without breathing, you cannot live. That's true. Nobody can live without breathing. I mean, for a long period of time, maybe for a short period of time, we can live. But so without breathing, we cannot live. Because of that, nobody thinks that I had to breathe, I had to inhale, I had to exhale, or how many inhales, how many exhales I have to do in my life for 1 minute, maybe 40 times, 30 times, for 1 hour, how many times, 60 times 30. Oh, wow. And per 1 day, per week, for my whole life, how many times I have to inhale, exhale. If you think in this way, sooner or later you will become depressed. You want to commit suicide. Definitely. Only you think about your present inhalation and exhalation. That's all. You have to think about the present inhalation and exhalation. Don't forget about it. Only the present breath. And it doesn't make you depressed. Instead of being depressed, it makes you happy. It makes you happy. If you only concern about your present inhalation and exhalation, just try. I think all of you experience this. It makes you relax. It makes you relax. And it makes you alert and awake. That's the beauty of meditation. On one hand, it makes you relax. If it is only a relaxation, then it is not a meditation. On the other hand, it makes you alert and awake. So you enjoy this moment while you are being awake and alert. And same thing we can do with walking meditation. Walking meditation. I always say this. Walking meditation is from here to here. Usually we walk to go somewhere from here. When we ask uh, from a person who is walking, where are you going? I am going to the market, I am going to the train station, I am going back to my home. But if you ask this question from a meditator who is practicing walking meditation, he or she never says, I am going to somewhere. I want to be here. I want to stay here. That's why I do this walking. Therefore, we can enjoy every single step. Every single step speaks about the present moment, here and now. Going nowhere, being nobody. It's a very good title, written by a German nun, Ayakema. The title of the book is Being Nobody, Going Nowhere. And you can experience this just by doing walking meditation, going nowhere. The journey is the destination. The journey itself is the destination. Then no heaviness at all. And the last thing what I can share with you now is the nature of human mind is uh, looking for errors, always looking for errors. No need to make any effort to discover errors, especially of others, errors of others. You don't have to make any effort. We don't have to make any effort for that. So easy. Our eyes, our ears, and our mind are conditioned for this to capture others' errors and negativities and mistakes and highlight them. And what is the circumstances? What are the circumstances of this habitual way of thinking? Even we cannot see our beautiful side, the side of beauty. Therefore, always we complain. We complain. Even when we come to the meditation, we complain about the posture, about the pain, about that sound, this sound, and about every single thought, idea, mental pictures, images, emotions. So many disturbances, so many distractions. And what is the result? We are suffering. We are suffering, unnecessarily suffering, because of always highlighting others' negativities and errors as well as our own mistakes and errors. Of course, we have to be aware on them. We have to be aware on our own errors as well as others' errors. Being aware is one thing, but criticizing is another thing. We have to be aware. We have to observe. By observing, we can discover our positivities, our positive elements. But to see positive elements, we have to make effort. We do not have to make any effort to see negativities. This is the trend. This is the habit. This is the condition. So we meditate to decondition this pattern. That's why when we practice metta meditation, compassion meditation, recollection of Buddha's nature, that meditation, we make effort to see positive aspects and positive elements. And self-appreciation is so important. Self-appreciation. We think we can appreciate ourselves after the enlightenment. Till that, we have to criticize. My dear friends, by criticizing, nobody can be enlightened. And after the enlightenment, nobody wants to appreciate. It's beyond appreciation and criticism. Self-appreciation is important. It's a fuel for the journey. Fuel for the journey. After every single session of your meditation, please look back and do some reflection and try to appreciate your effort. Try to appreciate your awareness. If you appreciate them, then they help you more. They come more. By appreciating, you open the door for them. By criticizing, what we do is we close the door for all the positive elements. It doesn't matter what happens in your meditation, what you achieve, what you couldn't achieve, no matter. But after every single meditation, be grateful for yourself. Be grateful. Be grateful for your body and be grateful for your mind. That can change the picture. Practice is the goal. The goal is the practice. And the joy is the vehicle. Enjoy your practice. Thank you very much, dear friends. Now you may have your meals, whatever, breakfast, lunch or evening snack, whatever, depends on where you are. And try to enjoy your meals. And then try to enjoy your self-practice. And then we will meet again for the chanting and short meditation and for the discussion. Till that, see how many chances are there to enjoy your practice and your life. Thanks.